Faith 180, you take your faith and you turn it around. Faith 180, yeah.
Welcome to Faith 180, the podcast where faith and mental health collide. If we haven't met yet, I am one of your hosts, and my name is Tom. And sitting across the table from me, on my phone screen, because he's still in Nova Scotia while I'm in New Brunswick for work, the one, the only, Jordan.
What's going on, everybody? It's your co-host, Jordan, and theme song writer extraordinaire. I
really think we should use that for the theme. That's all I'm saying.
I can tell you, Tom, that New Brunswick is a better place because you're there.
Aw, thanks, buddy. And that's how I feel about Nova Scotia, because you're still there, and I'm here in New Brunswick.
Nonetheless, we have to bring the people what they want.
That is true, and based off of the response from the pilot episode, it's sounding like people want more of us talking faith, more of us talking mental health, and just where the two intersect. So figured I would bring my microphone with me to work. I think you acquired a microphone yourself.
I got one.
And we're just here trying to see if we can make this work over distance if need be. But most times I'm hoping we'll be in the same room.
We're in a newly minted long-distance podcast relationship that will only last for 1 week.
And it's the episode that we start with. So what does that tell you?
It's going to be a quick one today. Nothing too deep. As some of you guys know, we did run a pilot episode a couple weeks back. Overwhelmingly positive response on that. I would just like to point out that we're simply two fellas. We have no theological degrees. We're just two fellas that think the world has stories to tell and people need to hear them, and how those stories connect with faith and how faith has actually helped people turn their lives around.
Well, not only do we feel that there are stories to tell, but I know me personally, I really want this to be a welcome platform for people to come on and just with no judgment, no preconceived notions, no nothing, just tell their stories if they're comfortable in doing so. And that's the one thing that I feel that is really positive that can come out of this whole experiment, this whole Faith 180 experiment.
And that's truthfully what this is. It's what it was. And because of your positive feedback, we are going to take this and run with it. And we hope that, every week you are sharing, liking, subscribe if you want to. We literally just see a hole that exists between faith and mental health. We truly believe that they have to coexist, and they can do so beautifully in a way that can transform somebody's life. And I think with all the hurt and the pain in the world today, if we can, in a way, tell a story that motivates somebody or gets them out of a rut that they're in, then I think we've achieved what we set out to do, which is to help people.
Exactly. And not only helping people, but really empowering people to help themselves as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in terms of the response, I know myself, everybody who has sent me a message, everybody who has stopped me to talk to me about it, everybody who has given me constructive feedback, everybody who's given me positive feedback, it's super appreciated, and just know it all means the world to me. I don't think she would mind if I called her out, but actually, Jordan, your sister sent me some beautiful messages that really, it teared me up as I was reading them, if I'm being honest with you. And I stopped her at church the other day to thank her for that, and she seemed really, really appreciative of that. So that was really cool.
Would that be the oldest sister, Tom?
Yes, it would be.
I have three for clarity, so he could have been talking. I had a slight chance of guessing which one, but also received feedback from the same sister. And this might be news to a lot of you, but she'll be joining us in an upcoming episode. And that's something else we want to highlight on this short episode. Basically, what's in the pipeline? What are we working on? and what type of content can you expect. So as I mentioned, my sister will be joining us, I believe, with Tom's wife Jess.
That is correct. Jessica has expressed, desire to be on here because there's a side of our story that needs to be told that I feel neither of us are really capable to tell. And that's why we kind of need them to come on and talk about it as well.
So
Yeah,
since the first recording, she's actually reached out to me and told me stuff that I didn't even realize happened. And if you recall, my sister's the one that brought me to the emergency room. Jess, Tom's wife, brought him. And we think that they both have some interesting stuff to say about that experience, a viewpoint that me and Tom have never really heard from a third party. And I think that's going to be exciting. So that's on the way. We also have another guest coming that you're all anticipating, and I think Tom knows who.
I know I'm anticipating it. I'm pretty sure everybody who's listened to this, who knows this person personally, is anticipating it. And once the name is said, I feel there's going to be an audible cheer from our listeners once they hear the name.
You can say it.
Oh, I can say it? You're giving me the honor of saying it? Well, here we go. This guest is the one, the only, Dinger Dave.
Feel free, Tom, to patch in some applause there, some shameful applause.
I'll put in some applause. Don't you worry about that.
So Dinger Dave is somebody that we both connected with early on in our faith journey, but very late into our mental health journey. Probably right place, right time for both of us. I heard Dave's testimony at a Celebrate Recovery meeting. Tom met Dave in the hospital. We're also going to dive into the Bible and what it says about mental health with Dave. Dave is a pastor. And we're also going to ask Dave to reflect on the times when he was meeting with me and Tom early in our faith journey, late in our mental health journey, and see if there's any comparisons, anything that differed, and kind of just experiment with that. So we're excited to have Dave on. He should be on the very next episode.
That's the plan. That's the hope. I just hope we can get him as well as ourselves, locked down to be able to record that. One thing I do want to just kind of touch on, one feedback that I did receive from somebody who's actually a really good friend of mine, he was kind of worried and kind of felt like, hey, it kind of seems like you're airing some dirty laundry here to get people to listen. And I kind of got where he was coming from, but at the same time, I also feel coming on here and just, breaking myself open, and I know you feel the same way, Jordan, just breaking myself open for the sake of my own personal healing. I think that's what it's all about.
I agree 100%. It's extremely vulnerable to put both of us in this position. And I find healing from it, and I know other people who have found healing from it. And it's like we said on the last one, we can either take these mistakes and stuff that we've done in our past that we've now turned away from and turn that into something positive, or it can exist in the ether as just a mistake. And I think that the real thing to drive home here is that we don't care who listens. We're not out to get 1 million views or listens, although that'd be cool. If you want to listen to us 1 million times, that would be great. And the goal at the end of the day has always been, if we can share a story that helps somebody connect the dots between mental health and Jesus Christ, then we should do it. And that's our motivation for this. That's why we're doing it. And we hope that through the upcoming episodes, you'll find something in it that will be meaningful or helpful to you. And feel free to write us, suggest topics for episodes. Maybe you have a story that we need to get out there. Let us know. This is merely a conversational podcast. We want to have those conversations. and get people out there. So as we close out this one, why don't we just go through Faith 180? Where did that come from, Tom? Maybe you could speak to that.
Yeah, no problem. So we were kind of brainstorming ideas of what we could even call this podcast, this multimedia extravaganza, this experiment, whatever you want to call it. And we really wanted to focus on the faith aspect. And we were kind of brainstorming at my kitchen table after we had recorded the first episode. And I believe it was you had kind of just said Faith 180. And you just kind of looked at me. And my wife was sitting at the table too. And we all just looked at each other and were like, that's it. So what the Faith 180, the 180 represents is us. We grew up in faith. And I can only speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure it's the same for you. Growing up in faith and not having it forced upon you by your parents, but kind of a part of your life. You don't really investigate what that means. You don't look into faith. You don't see what that means for you. It's just something you do on a Sunday. And when I hit a certain age, when I started having the questions and whatever, I walked away from faith. Totally just got out of it, walked away from it. But when I came back to faith, I 180'd from my journey away from it and came back. So that's kind of where the Faith 180 comes from. It's the representation of us leaving faith but turning around to come back.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the 180 represents an inward transformation and an outward transformation. It's when you start to experience God in terms of a relationship, the way that he meant it to be, the way it's portrayed biblically, when you start to get into the weeds of what a relationship with Jesus is, it takes a 180 to fully be able to engage in that and to see things clearly. And I think for both of us, it took a complete 180 for us to see faith in a different perspective through the lens of, okay, what is it like to have a relationship with God, who is Jesus? Right. He certainly walked the earth, and there's historical accounts of him. I want to know more. So it's certainly a transformational inward-outward change, and we, through faith, are hoping that this podcast will mean something and make a difference in somebody's lives.
And if it doesn't make a difference in somebody's life and it's just us just talking to each other and recording, I'm fine with that too. Because it's for my own healing as well. It's for your healing. After having just a couple conversations with you, it feels like you're someone I can trust, someone I can be like, oh, hey, I'm having these issues, I need to talk to somebody about. And if that's what comes out of this, man, like, I just want to say, and I'm going to be sappy and emotional for a minute, it's a success in my eyes.
I completely agree. I think the stage has been set. I think we have a clear path forward. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the pilot episode. Faith 180 is the name of the podcast. I thank you. Tom thanks you.
Before we close this out, though, I do want to just address the one question that I have gotten the most from our pilot. I've been asked this no less than 6 or 7 times, and I think it's time we answer this once and for all for everybody. That question is, did we really record that pilot episode in my bathroom? I think the answer, and Jordan will agree with me, is yes, we definitely did. We huddled in my bathroom, and we recorded the episode.
If you listen real close, you can hear the trickle of the water in the toilet tank. Listen,
filling back up.
I can't confirm or deny if our podcast studio is in a bathroom or whether it's Tom's bathroom or my bathroom, but the mystery of that will have to remain for now. So I encourage you to join us on the next one. We should have Dinger Dave coming to you very soon. And we're happy you're listening. Happy to have you. Welcome to the Faith 180 crew.
And if you have anything you'd like to add, or if you'd like to get a hold of either one of us, it's faith180crew@gmail.com. And there is a Faith 180 Facebook page as well.
So don't be shy. Check us out. Leave a comment. Tell us a story.
Stop us on the side of the road.
Yeah. Buy me lunch.
We'd love to talk to you.
Buy me lunch.
Only if it's cheese panzerottis.
I'll take us out with a Faith 180. Turn your faith around. Faith 180. Yeah.
Faith 180 is an independent podcast featuring, produced, and edited by Tom Hazelton and Jordan Hamilton. Got a question, suggestion, prayer request, or story of your own faith? Email faith180 at faith180crew@gmail.com. Faith 180 is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow and turn on notifications for whenever a new episode goes live. Thank you for listening, and remember, you, yes you are worthy of God's grace.